complexion. Figure 9. Miraculous icon of the Mother of God of Kazan, Chernihiv. The icon is one of 9 copies of Our Lady of Kazan, an important Russian Madonna. It was found floating down a river until it reached the present site of Chernihiv. Where it stopped is where the first church in the town was built. People came from the Urals and Siberia for pilgrimage to the church because of the respect with which Russians had copies of Our Lady of Kazan. A somewhat different-looking copy was held in the Kremlin in Moscow. When it burned down in 1770, the icon was found amongst the ashes, completely unharmed and only slightly darkened from the smoke. Where have we heard this before? In 1937, the communist authorities closed the church, but pilgrims still came to pray at the locked gates. In 1943, the local party chairman was removing all icons from the church for destruction when he attempted to move the Black Madonna. It was the only icon that he failed to move. He announced that he planned to cut it down with an axe the next day, but he fell seriously ill that night and died a few days later. In 1947, the church reopened, and the icon was associated with a number of healing miracles. In 2004, the Patriarch of Russian Orthodoxy blessed the shrine and gave it central recognition. Figure 10. Our Lady of the Sign from Russia. Icons of Mary in this pose are known as Our Lady of the Sign. This example is from Russia and dates from the mid-16th century. It is kept in the National Historic Museum, Moscow. Mary's arms and hands are held open in a gesture of prayer. They form the shape of a chalice, which symbolizes the sacrifice that Christ shall make for humanity. She has an angel either side of her with black wings. Christ gestures with 3 right fingers, symbolizing the Trinity. The 2 fingers against his palm symbolize his human and divine nature in Catholic doctrine. He holds a scroll in the left, symbolizing his role as a teacher and bearer of a message. Both Christ and Mary have rich African complexions, and Christ's very curly hair is visible. Figure 11. For comparison, we show the fair skin tone of another Our Lady of the Sign. This example of Our Lady of the Sign is from the 17th century and resides in the State Regional Museum of Art in Poland. The pale skin tone recalls the people of Europe in stark contrast to the African brown of the examples above. Figure 12. Our Lady of Basilian, the Black Madonna of Lipsk. This Black Madonna is in the city of Lipsk, near the northeastern Polish border with Belarus. It is thought to have been painted between the 15th and 17th century, but was moved to a Unionite Eastern Roman Catholic Church in the village of Skyiblaiv. A Basilian monk from Vilnius is thought to have been behind this. In 1892, the icon received a splendid silver wrap to aid preservation. In 1920, it was moved to the appropriately grand church of Our Lady of the Angels in Lipsk. It is one of the most solemn-looking of the icons. In 1999, it was granted the papal crown John Paul II and received it in 2001. Here we have called her the Black Madonna of Lipsk. Figure 13. Our Lady of Tenderness from Volgimus. Our Lady of Tenderness is thought to be a 16th century icon from Moscow and is currently housed in the Regional Museum of Włodzimierz, Poland. It depicts scenes from the Achaeus hymn, the most famous Byzantine hymn devoted to the Virgin Mary. Figure 14. Another version of Our Lady of the Sign. This version of Our Lady of the Sign is from the 16th century and is housed in the National Museum of Krakow, Poland. Figure 15. Our Lady of Vladimir, our symbol of Russia. Our Lady of Vladimir is also classed as a mother of tenderness because of the way she is holding Christ nestled against her cheek. It is named after Vladimir, a Russian town 100 kilometers east of Moscow. To the present author's knowledge, she is not considered a black Madonna, but the richness of complexion reveals that of any Eastern black virgin. The history of this icon parallels the history of Russia, which it has come to symbolize. According to tradition, it was painted by St. Luke, the physician of St. Paul. In 450 AD, it was taken from Jerusalem to Constantinople of Byzantium. In 1130, the icon moved from here to the capital of the state of Kievan Rus after being given as a gift from the Patriarch of Constantinople to Grand Duke Dolgorouki. In 1160, it was moved by Prince Andrew, who had the intention of taking it to Rostock, but the horses refused to move beyond Vladimir. The prince built a cathedral specifically to house it. In 1164, he marched against the Bulgars, carrying Our Lady of Vladimir and declaring his faith in her. After he defeated them, the icon is supposed to have lit up the entire battlefield. In 1165, the cathedral burnt down, but the icon was found untouched. In 1395, Moscow was facing the approaching Tatar army of Tamerlane. The Grand Duke of Moscow requested the icon to be brought from Valdemar to protect the city. The journey route was lined by Russians on their knees, begging the Madonna to save Russia. The Tartars retreated mysteriously without battle. It is said Tamerlane had a vision of the Madonna and saw it as a bad omen. In 1480, there was a repeat with another Tatar army refusing to fight the Russians, which was credited to the Madonna. In 1812, it was temporarily taken back to Vladimir to protect it from the army of Napoleon, but was later returned that year. The esteem in which the image was held can be judged by the Tsar of Russia being crowned before the Vladimir Lady. After the Communist Revolution, it was moved to the Tretyakov Gallery within Moscow. In 1996, the cult of the icon was reestablished and it was moved to the Church of St. Nicholas in Moscow. It is the most important Marian icon in Russia, so it is not surprising that she has 3 different feast days in a year. Figure 16. Our Lady of Ostra-Brama, Lithuania. The Black Madonna of Ostra-Brama, Sharp Gate, located in Vilnius, also has a history which parallels that of Lithuania. The best known Marian shrine in Lithuania is that of Ostra-Brama. In 1522, Sigismund Jagiellon of the United Kingdom of Poland and Lithuania built a city walled around Vilnius to defend against the Tartars. It had 9 gates and a Madonna over each gate. One of these was the Black Madonna. When Sweden invaded, over 100 years later, They banned the visiting of Ostrobrama. When the Russians invaded shortly after, they tried to burn the entire city, but the icon was saved by priests. In 1795, the Tsar of Russia ordered the city walls to be destroyed, but the icon survived this too. The miraculous power of Ostrobrama is not saving the nation from invaders, as with Czestochowa, but rather in surviving the various military conquests and attempts to subdue the people of this united kingdom. It is not difficult to see why it symbolizes the Lithuanian nation. The black version is also associated with healing and bringing the child back to life. Figure 17. Black Madonna of Pt3, Poland. The first anniversary of the crowning of the Mother of Masovia, also known as the Black Madonna of Pt3, was attended by Cardinal Karol Wojtyła in 1971. He became Pope John Paul II 8 years later. Icons are only crowned after being declared miraculous. Figure 18. The Mandelion of the Vatican. The Mandelion of the Vatican is of unknown age, but replicates the Byzantine world's most venerated icon. It was supposed to have been created when a messenger of King Abgar, the Black of Edessa, Turkey-Syrian borderland, to Judea received a cloth which Christ had wiped his face with. The image of Christ's face was miraculously transferred to this cloth. Figure 19. Our Lady of the Life-Giving Source. This depiction of a black Virgin and Christ is housed in the Museum of Icons in Suprasil, a town in northeastern Poland. It is thought to be of Belarusian origin from the 19th century. This icon shows Mary and Christ in the fountain of life giving waters. They are flanked by two archangels, Michael and Gabriel. The picture is rimmed by the saints Antipas, Cosmas, Damian, Artemis, and others whose name cannot be read. In the central scene, some of the first Christians are gathering the special waters and dispensing it amongst the sick. This is based on depictions from a crypt in Constantinople dating from the 6th century. All the figures are given a rich African brown complexion, as they evidently image the people of Roman Palestine to be. Figure 20. Scene of the Crucifixion of Christ. This depiction is in the Museum of Icons in Suprasil, Poland, and dates to the 19th century. The central image is a brass cross with Christ on it. He is flanked by two other Jews being crucified. Notable amongst those in the picture are, with head covered, Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Mary Magdalene. The right-hand figure with a halo is the Apostle John. His hair is depicted curly in a manner reminiscent of Ethiopians and semi-Moorish people. The same rich African brown is also used here. Conclusion. In this publication, we have looked at the phenomenon of the Black Madonna and Christ, why they are not so well known, and why they were painted in dark color. The class of Black Madonna from the earlier medieval world of Byzantium are mainly copper-colored to dark brown and have an appearance approximating that of narrow-featured Africans who have an element of non-African ancestry like Ethiopians. This was based on the physical appearance of many of the Byzantine ruling class who were of Palestinian, Syrian, or Aboriginal Anatolian origin. Both areas had Asiatic black populations. See unmistakably black sculpture and paintings from Syria and Anatolia by Anu Mbantu, and the Ancient Black Hebrews by Gert Muller. There is nothing symbolic about the color, because it's not only given to the Madonna and Christ, but also the elite persons in the picture. The facial features and hair do not differ much from those of Byzantine art in general. They were intended to represent the original population of Palestine in the early Christian times and an element of the Byzantine aristocracy. This type was later reproduced in Orthodox Eastern Europe. The second type is from the later medieval period in the Catholic world of the Western Roman Empire. These tend to be dark brown or coal black. In a few instances, they even have obviously African features. In some cases, however, they have the hair and facial features of the European population amongst whom they were created. The Black Madonna and Christ are the image of those who were present at the beginning of civilization and who are at the root of every religion. They are the image of the great survivors who, like the icons, have rich complexions and have come through numerous tribulations. Against all exceptions, they are still here. They are those who excite both reverence and hostility in the West. They are a symbol of the fall of the Africans and their unexpected resurrection. This has been the Black Madonna and Christ. What the Da Vinci Code Did Not Say. Written by Gert Muller. Narrated by William Butler. 2013 by Gert Muller.